Hello, Elixir family. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. So, I finished 24 videos of the Advent of Elixir, and I'm pretty satisfied with what I've done. It was a fantastic learning experience, and here is what I've learned. 1. Queuing up media is relatively easy. I remember when that used to be much harder to do, and things have changed. 2. There is quite a bit of content I didn't manage to get to. Maybe not quite 24 days worth yet, but over the course of the year, I'll keep my eye out and maybe we'll do this again next year. 3. When I started, I expected 2 to 5 minutes worth of videos for each video, but it wound up being more like 10 to 20. And I'm not sure if that's because I like the sound of my own voice or because some of these topics take a lot more explanation than I was expecting to. But I think that's great. It's more content for you guys. And 4, I fixed an audio bug, or should I say a pebcac. Basically, I was recording audio from both the onboard computer microphone as well as the USB microphone simultaneously, which caused an echo that I was struggling to try and get rid of. And finally managed to do that by turning off one of those sources towards the end. So I will be re-recording the most of the videos over the course of the next few months, and so that these can continue to be a useful resource for the Elixir community. One more thing, in one of the last videos, I added a music track, and it seems like people are of mixed opinion whether or not that's good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a poll on Twitter, and I'm going to link to that poll below, and you can tell me whether or not you liked hearing that extra music. So I promised a reveal and some announcements at the beginning of the Advent of Elixir for the 25th day. And so here we go. Over Advent, I've been working on a project that I think the live view community lacks, surprisingly. And then I started implementing it, and I understood why it hasn't come about yet. So I call this project Xterm. And what it is it is an interactive terminal for Phoenix Live View. And so there is at least a couple of libraries out there for Phoenix Live View that do take advantage of a library in JavaScript called xterm.js. But it turns out there's like a little bit of a mismatch between what xterm.js expects and what you would really want for a nice terminal that interfaces with the Elixir and Erlang I/O system, especially for REPLs. And so I started building this project as a way to address those issues. Also, I believe that copy paste doesn't really work for that, and I think it should be pretty easy to get copy paste up and running for this library. So let's take a look at it. Before we do, I'll tell you a few things that don't work yet. The up arrow for getting a console history isn't working yet, but I think that should be pretty easy. Tab completion isn't working yet. I think I have an idea of how to do that, but I wasn't able to implement it before Christmas. And like I said, copy paste I haven't implemented yet, but I think I know how to get that up and running. There are 2 bugs, and I'm going to show you those 2 bugs right now. However, I'm not going to let these 2 bugs stop me from making a 0.1 release. So the first bug happens when you kind of overflow the boundary of the console. And you can see that there's supposed to be some sort of a slider here that will let you access the content above, but my CSS skills aren't that great, and for whatever reason, I can't get that displaying. The other bug is also conveniently hidden by this first bug, and this one may actually be a problem in Phoenix Live View itself. or possibly just my understanding of how to do Phoenix Live View. I'm going to go ahead and make myself smaller and kind of zoom in on this so you can see what's going on. Oh, I can't make this console bigger, so you may have to struggle a little bit. Apologies in advance. So the section above, which contains the content that is sort of in the history of the console itself, is going in reverse order. So we've got row 20 at the top and row 1 at the bottom, whereas the console is in the correct order. We have row 21 here and row 44 on the bottom. And this should, in theory, be posting things in the correct order because PHX update has been set to append. But for some reason, they're coming in the wrong order. And I'll have to deep dive into that to figure out what's going on. But this external project is open source and available on GitHub. I'll show you where that is. So if you want to take a crack at it and think you have good CSS skills or think you know what might be going on wrong with the append, let me know or just make a PR. I will say, though, I am planning possibly to do a pro version of this. And the pro version will have a couple of things. One is provenance and authorization. So this is maybe not something you need if you're running your own personal website and just going to put this under behind like a real authorization, just a global authorization. But if you have a bigger organization, you may want to have a more have better limiting on who can use this console, and so I'll include that as a feature. And also provenance means that if you run a set of commands on the console, you will be able to log who executed those commands into some sort of persistent storage, like a database or S3 or whatever you like. And the other feature that I'm thinking about doing if I do a pro version is multiplayer mode. So as you can see, in order to use the console, you need to have it selected. And if you don't have it selected and try to type, nothing will happen. But that should enable you to do multiplayer console usage. So that is the extern project. So to support a pro version, I'll be standing up a new GitHub organization called E-xyza. Just as a note, Ziegler will be migrating to E-xyza. And my next project, which is called Apical, will also be hosted there. I'm really excited about Apical. Apical is going to be an OpenAPI compiler that generates a Phoenix or plug router from an OpenAPI schema. And there will very much be a pro version of Apical. I'm open-minded as to what people might be interested in for a pro version. I have a set of features that I want right now, and I'll make that in a further announcement when I release Apical. I do want to give some special thanks to Parker Siebert. His handle is Soren2 on most of the Elixir channels. He's the creator of Oban, and he encouraged me to directly monetize my Elixir skills. If I can figure out how to stream, I'll probably host a few live streams on the process of building Apical. And while we're talking on the topic of future videos, I will also say that I plan on completing the process series, which I started a couple of years ago, which is sort of like a deep dive into how Elixir and Erlang do process management. So expect to see those in the horizon, as well as the remastering of the original 22 Advent videos. Okay, it's been a blast. I've really enjoyed seeing all of your feedback about my videos and seeing people be really interested in understanding at a lower level what's going on in Elixir. And I will see you around soon.